Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a meeting to discuss ways to boost defence and aerospace sector to deliberate the potential reforms. Prime Minister also holds a comprehensive meeting to discuss strategies on boosting foreign and domestic investments in India, as well as reforming the coal and mining sector. Home Ministry reiterates to states to ensure free movement of trucks and other goods carriers to allow free movement of essentials in the country. Says the need to sensitize local authorities to not insist on separate passes for movement at interstate borders. Election Commission to hold a meeting today in connection with the election to 9 vacant posts of Maharashtra State Legislative Council. Chief Election Commissioner to take part via video conferencing. Worldwide, over 10 lakh people recover from COVID-19. The number of COVID-infected cases goes beyond 32 lakh. Over 2.33 lakh deaths so far. The US tops the tally of deaths, nearing 63,000. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin says he has tested positive for COVID-19. And International Labour Day being observed today, celebrated internationally for the working class that works hard each day to make our lives easier. Home Minister Amit Shah and Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar extend greetings on the occasion. Good morning. You're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. Our top story first. Prime Minister held a meeting to deliberate on the potential reforms to ensure a robust and self-reliant defence industry in India that caters to short and long-term needs of the armed forces and initiatives to give a boost to the economy in the backdrop of COVID-19. The discussions involved reforming of the functioning of the ordnance factories, streamlining procurement procedures, focused resource allocation, encouraging research and development, innovation, attracting investment in critical defence technologies and promotion of exports. Prime Minister laid emphasis on positioning of India among the top countries of the world in defence and aerospace sectors, from design to production, with active participation of public and private sector, fulfilling the twin objectives of self-reliance and exports. He reviewed the proposed reforms for attracting domestic and foreign investment in the defence sector. Prime Minister directed that India should reduce dependence on imports and take forward Make in India to build its domestic capabilities for designing, developing and manufacturing state-of-the-art defence equipment. The meeting was attended by Defence Minister, Home Minister, Finance Minister and Minister of State for Finance, along with senior officials of the Government of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a comprehensive meeting to discuss strategies to attract more foreign investments into India, as well as to promote local investments in order to give a boost to the economy against the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic. It was discussed that a scheme should be developed to promote more plug-and-play infrastructure into the existing industrial lands, plots, estates in the countries and provide necessary financing support. During the meeting, the Prime Minister directed that action should be taken for a more proactive approach to handhold the investors to look into their problems and help them get all the necessary central and state clearances in a time-bound manner. Various strategies to bring investments into India in a fast-track mode and to promote Indian domestic sectors were discussed. Detailed discussions were also held on guiding states to evolve their strategies and be more proactive in attracting investments. Emphasis was laid on continuing reform initiatives undertaken by the various ministries. Action should be taken in a time-bound manner to remove any obstacle which impedes the promotion of investment and industrial growth. The meeting was attended by Finance Minister, Home Minister, Commerce and Industry Minister, Minister of State for Finance, along with top government officials. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held another meeting to deliberate on the potential economic reforms in mines and coal sectors to give a boost to the economy in the backdrop of COVID-19. The discussions involved ensuring easy and abundant availability of mineral resources from domestic sources, upscaling exploration, attracting investment and modern technology to generate large-scale employment through transparent and efficient processes. Auctioning of additional blocks, encouraging wider participation in auctions, reducing the cost of mining and cost of transporting, increasing ease of doing business while also reducing carbon footprint with environmentally sustainable development also formed an important part of the discussions. The issues related to reforms in auction structure, efficient institutional arrangements, participation of private sector in exploration and mining were also deliberated upon. Prime Minister laid special focus on improving the country's self-reliance in production of minerals and their in-country processing. The Union Home Ministry on Thursday made it clear that no separate passes are required for interstate movement of trucks, those carrying goods or returning after delivery during the ongoing lockdown, and license of the driver is enough. Asking states and union territories to ensure uninterrupted movement of trucks, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla said that there have been reports that at interstate borders in different parts of the country, movement of trucks is not allowed freely and local authorities insist upon separate passes. He asked states to allow movement of all trucks and other goods carriers vehicles with 2 drivers and 1 helper, subject to the drivers carrying valid driving licenses. An empty trunk or vehicle will be allowed to ply after the delivery of the goods or after pickup of goods, he added. The number of active cases of COVID-19 in the country have risen to 25,007. While 8,888 people have recovered from the pandemic, the country reported a total of 1,147 deaths so far. Maharashtra remains the hardest hit state with 10,498 cases. That is nearly 30% of the cases in the country. Meanwhile, Health Ministry in the daily briefing yesterday said that recovery rate has increased progressively to 25.19%. Doubling rate has increased to 11 days now. The digital medium has emerged as a powerful weapon in fighting coronavirus during the lockdown. To further strengthen the role of this digital technology in the fight against COVID-19, a meeting of the G20 digital economy was held yesterday. Information technology ministers of the G20 nations interacted in the meeting through video conferencing. IT ministers agreed in the meeting to take advantage of the potential of digital medium to prevent the epidemic and protect the people. The meeting focused on the need of strengthening communication, infrastructure and network connectivity in fighting the pandemic. Representing India, IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said that it is the responsibility of the G20 nations to work more inclusive and focused on building a society in times of crisis.
को रोकने में हम लोगों ने काम किया है, जिसमें डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रयोग किया है, चाहे वर्क फ्रॉम होम हो, चाहे वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग हो, चाहे वो आरोग्य सेतु हो। जबकि दुनिया लॉकडाउन में है, उस समय डिजिटल माध्यम से एक समावेशी भारत जो कोरोना के खिलाफ लड़ाई में जागृत हो, इसका माननीय मोदी जी की अगुवाई में भारत ने एक अनुकरणीय उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किया है।
The Election Commission of India will hold a meeting today over the election to the Legislative Council in Maharashtra. Now, the Maharashtra Governor, B.S. Koshyari, had requested the Election Commission for conducting the election to 9 seats of the Legislative Council in the state. Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora, who is stranded in the United States due to the lockdown, will join the meeting via video conferencing. The CEC went to the U.S. early March and was supposed to come back in the first week of April, but could not as India stopped international and domestic flights from March 25th onwards. Meanwhile, a police complaint has been filed against General Secretary and spokesperson of Maharashtra Pradesh Congress Committee for his derogatory remarks against Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari. Congress spokesperson is accused of making derogatory comments on traditional attire of the state of Uttarakhand, where the governor hails from. And Uttar Pradesh Director General of Police Anand Kumar inspected Ghaziabad jail yesterday. He took stock of security arrangements of about 3,868 detainees lodged in Ghaziabad district prison in the wake of COVID-19. He said that all security arrangements have been made to avoid the possibilities of the spread of the virus inside the prison. He also said that Ghaziabad prison has so far made more than 1 lakh masks, which are being distributed to all sections of the society.
मुझे बड़ा हर्ष है इसको देखते हुए कि यहाँ की सफाई की व्यवस्था, सैनिटेशन की व्यवस्था, मेडिकल की व्यवस्था बहुत अच्छी है और 3800 बंदियाँ होने के बावजूद भी एक भी हमारे पास कोविड पॉजिटिव का केस नहीं है, जो हमारे लिए संतोष का विषय है। लेकिन हमें लगातार इसमें सजग रहना पड़ेगा। यहाँ पर सोशल फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग और सफाई सैनिटरी मेजर्स जैसे मैंने आपको कहा उसका पालन किया जा रहा है। बंदी और जेल तंत्र में एक समन्वय है और अपेक्षित सहयोग दोनों तरह से है। 1,08,000 से अधिक मास्क ऑलरेडी बन चुके हैं और लगातार बन रहे हैं और इसका वितरण किया जा रहा है समाज में। काफ़ी विभागों को हम लोगों ने दिया है, पब्लिक को दिया है, चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को दिया है।
The world is celebrating the International Workers' Day or May Day today. May Day is a metonym for International Workers' Day, a day of celebration of the working class, celebrated internationally as a holiday for the working class that works hard each day to make our lives easier. The contribution of laborers and working class in any country, society, institution and industry is incomparable. The Labour Day is celebrated every year with great enthusiasm. History of May Day celebrations in India go back as far as 1923. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, major celebrations across the world stand cancelled. The May Day celebrations in India will also be cancelled due to the ongoing lockdown measures. And in view of the spread of coronavirus, the district administration of Gurugram has issued an order to curb the movement of people in the district. Now, as per the order, movement of people across the border will be restricted. Restrictions will be in effect from 10 a.m. today. The district magistrate has advised to those working in Gurugram who come from outside districts to make arrangements to stay in Gurugram. Also, those Gurugram residents who are out in connection with work are also advised to make accommodation arrangements to avoid crossing the border. And Home Minister Amit Shah extended greetings on the occasion of World Labour Day. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "I salute all the labourers who play a primary role in the progress and prosperity of India. With the mantra of Shramev Jayate, the Modi government is committed for the welfare of the workers who transformed India as a world leader with hard work and determination." Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar also extended greetings on the International Labour Day. In a tweet, he said, and I quote him, "The world runs by the labour of the workers. It's their right to get justice and adequate pay for their hard work. Jai Kamgar." US President Donald Trump threatened new tariffs against Beijing as he claimed to have seen evidence linking coronavirus to a lab in China's ground zero city of Wuhan. However, President Trump refused to provide more details. The president, however, did not hold his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping responsible for this, but said that China could have contained it. However, the Office of USA's Director of National Intelligence has rejected reports that the novel coronavirus is man-made or genetically modified virus. In the statement, the office said that the entire intelligence community has been consistently providing critical support to the US policymakers and those responding to the COVID-19 virus, and claims that COVID-19 virus was not man-made or genetically modified. Meanwhile, the United States recorded more than 2,000 coronavirus deaths in a 24-hour period for the third day running. The country hardest hit by the pandemic in terms of number of fatalities recorded 2,053 deaths on Thursday. At least 62,906 people have now died in the United States, and 10,68,696 infection cases have been registered. Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin on Thursday told President Vladimir Putin that he had been diagnosed with the new coronavirus and was temporarily stepping down to recover. This was done during a televised video conference. To this, Putin said that Mishustin's fate showed that anyone could contact the virus. Mishustin on this suggested first Deputy Prime Minister Andriy Belousov to serve as acting Prime Minister in his absence, which was later supported by President Putin. Russia's nationwide tally of confirmed coronavirus cases reached 106,498 earlier on Thursday after a record daily rise in the new infections, and has so far reported 1,073 coronavirus-related deaths. France reported 289 new COVID deaths yesterday, and it has been the lowest increase on a weekday since March end. Health Ministry also confirmed that number of people in the ICUs fell to 4,019 from 4,207 on Wednesday, which has been down for the 22nd consecutive day. The number of people in hospitals with coronavirus also fell to 26,283 from 26,834, continuing an uninterrupted fall since more than 2 weeks. France has registered 24,376 COVID-19 deaths and has registered more than 1,67,000 positive cases till now. And Italy reported 285 new COVID-19 deaths, taking the total to 27,967. However, the country registered largest daily drop in active cases since the beginning of the outbreak. Patients in the ICUs saw a drop with only 1,694 patients, while 18,149 still remain hospitalized in the normal wards. On a positive note, Italy witnessed progressive recoveries with 75,945 patients. Italy will start to gradually ease its 2-month lockdown on May 4th. The new rules call for construction and manufacturing will resume next week, while retailers and museums will reopen on May 18th, while the schools will remain closed until September. Meanwhile, in other updates, German authorities have agreed to reopen playgrounds, churches and cultural institutions such as museums and zoos, which were shut due to the pandemic. However, authorities have postponed a decision on whether to relax the rules for restaurants, hotels and kindergartens. Chancellor Angela Merkel said that while there would be regional differences because of Germany's federal structure, the overall goal remains ensuring the health system can cope with the country's outbreak. Germany has recorded almost 1,63,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and registered 6,623 deaths so far. And Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa has announced a plan to gradually lift the lockdown measures imposed 6 weeks ago to combat the coronavirus outbreak. Starting on May 4th, the 3-phase plan will open up different sectors of the economy every 15 days, starting with small neighborhood shops, hairdressers, car dealerships and bookshops. The use of masks will be compulsory in various spaces, including public transport, which will operate at reduced capacity. Remote working will still be recommended wherever possible, and gatherings must be limited to 10 people, though family members will be allowed to attend funerals. The country has reported 25,045 confirmed cases of the new coronavirus and 989 deaths. Spain recorded its lowest daily coronavirus death tally in 6 weeks on Thursday. From Saturday, Spaniards will be allowed to take short walks and play sports from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. The number of deaths recorded in Spain fell to 268, which was the lowest since March 20th. However, positive cases rose to 213,435, while the overall death toll rose to 24,543 on Thursday, up from 24,275 the previous day. Meanwhile, critical care doctors paid tributes to ICU nurses, nurse assistants and ward assistants for their work in the coronavirus emergency with a round of applause. Spain is currently in the first phase of a 4-phase plan to lift the lockdown that would culminate in a return to normalcy by the end of June. And amid the destructive spread of COVID-19 pandemic, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres has expressed concern over the lack of sufficient solidarity with the world's developing countries that need support in responding to the worst economic and social crisis in generations. He has raised concern about inadequate support for poor countries. Guterres has lamented the lack of leadership by world powers and a divided international community in the fight against coronavirus. Guterres' remarks came after US President Donald Trump reignited his war of words with China during an interview on Wednesday. In response to questions about global leadership, he told a news conference that the international community was divided when it was more important than ever to be united. The 15-member UN Security Council has spent more than a month trying to negotiate a resolution that would emphasize on the urgent need for enhanced cooperation among all countries in the fight against coronavirus and calls for humanitarian truce in conflicts around the world. The UN chief said that an appeal for $2 billion to help the most vulnerable populations was only half funded. People across the United Kingdom joined in a round of applause on Thursday to thank the National Health Service staff and key workers on the front line of the coronavirus crisis. The applause has become an emotional weekly ritual in Britain since it first took place on March 26th. People also clapped extended greetings to Captain Tom Moore, a World War II veteran who has become a national hero after raising millions for the NHS by walking in his garden. Captain Moore celebrated his 100th birthday on Thursday. And UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson also joined in the weekly round of applause to thank the hospital staff and care workers on the front line. He appeared on the doorstep of his Downing Street office alongside Finance Minister Rishi Sunak, clapping enthusiastically for COVID-19 warriors. He also extended greetings to Captain Tom Moore on his 100th birthday. Meanwhile, the World War II veteran thanked Boris Johnson for the birthday wishes. As Captain Moore celebrated his centenary, the amount he raised topped $37.4 million, the Guinness World Record for the most money raised by an individual through a walk. To celebrate his birthday, Captain Moore was appointed the first honorary colonel of the Army Foundation College. He has also been represented with his World War II Defense Medal, which he had lost. And today is the 60th anniversary of the formation of the states of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to Twitter to extend greetings on the occasion. He wrote, and I quote him, "My best wishes to the brothers and sisters of Maharashtra on the occasion of Maharashtra Day. India is proud of Maharashtra's significant contribution to the country's development. I pray for the progress and prosperity of the kingdom in the years to come. Jai Maharashtra." In his message to the people of Gujarat, Prime Minister wrote, and I quote him, "Happy State Day to the people of Gujarat. The people of Gujarat are known for their manhood. Gujaratis have made special contributions in many fields. Gujarat is always on the cusp of new peaks of achievements. Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat." That's it in this edition of the news. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.